Hi, my name's Alicia Redshaw and I own Scrapbook Fantasies in Gladstone, Queensland. Welcome to my class today where I'm going to be making a cool black, white and red steampunk grunge layout. I am using my brand new release, well it's actually not released at the time that this video is released, Redwood Farm collection. I'm using the new Tim Holtz Crackling Campfire Distress Oxide. I'm using some of my Steampunk and Feathers color cuts, a few Celebr8 stencils, and everyone's favorite product, blending brushes. So let's get stuck into the class. As I said, we're going to create a black, white and red steampunk grunge layout. We're using blending brushes, some stencils, some of my Steampunk and Feathers color cuts, the new Tim Holtz Crackling Campfire Distress Oxide. I also have a golden black pearlescent pigment ink pad. I've got a photograph of my two middle children. We have 4 children, so that means 2 middle children. Yeah, hamming it up for the selfies. I have a fabulous word in black released just for this class. The stencils from Celebr8, I have a handsome numbers and marks the spot. We'll see how we go with those. And I've got black cardstock, white cardstock. All of these will be in the link I provide right now and at the end of the class. And I'm using paper number 1 from my new Redwood Farm collection. This is my second collection. The first collection I designed, but the second collection released. And the back of it has got this stripe on it, but we're going to use this nice timber. I'll show you the rest of the collection. So that's paper number 1. Paper number 2 has large fussy cuts and bricks on the back, which is really cool. At the time that this video is recorded and released, you can only pre-order the paper pack, which is 2 each of all 6 sheets for $19.80. And on the 1st of November 2020, the collection will be released and it's got lots of other stuff with it. So this is paper number 3. It's got a nice denim on the back. Paper number 4. And then it's got this pretty border. Paper number 5, and it's the first of the smaller fussy cuts. It's got a frame to use, and paper number 6. Okay, so we're back again. I had to do shop duty because Quentin was at Book Week Parade. It is a Friday morning in the shop, Scrapbook Fantasies in Gladstone, Queensland, and it is Book Week. So let's get going with our page. So we're going to make the structure before we do our blending, and then I'll talk about the blending brushes. So with my pattern papers, so both my ranges so far and my third range I'm currently working on, I give you a little bit of leeway. So I'm measuring down the 12 inches. So I do give you a little tiny bit of leeway. Don't throw that out because you can cut stuff out of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a 1-inch frame of this. So I'm measuring in 1 inch, but I'm not cutting the whole way. I'm coming down 1 inch from the top and I'm only cutting to within 1 inch of the end. So then I turn and I'm starting 1 inch down and I'm cutting to within 1 inch. So line it up. It is better to line up with the inch mark on the right hand side of the cutting blade if you're right-handed, and the left hand side if you're left-handed, and use your cutter around the other way. Okay, so let's pull it out. So that's our frame. Then we are going to cut this down to, let's go, so this black piece, we're going to cut down to let's go 11 by 11. So 11 inches by 11 inches. And then let's get the white and cut it to 10 3/4 inches. Oh, there's a barcode here. This is a piece of Kaiser Craft smooth white. So let's go 10 3/4 inches by 10 3/4 inches. Now I am going to cut the middle out of the black, but I just want to make sure I like the look of my page first. Let's just line this up. How's that? I think that looks pretty good. Would be nice if we saw a bit more red, but so let's just cut 1/8 of an inch off two sides of this. So we're just going to cut a little scant 1/8 of an inch off two sides of the black. Oh, moved. Just going to, because you've got to make sure it's straight here, not against the ruler. Okay, so I'm actually going to cut 1/4 of an inch off the black. Because I have moved when I was cutting. This is a work trimmer. I have left my trimmer at home. So this is a work trimmer. And they get used and abused. I'm a great believer that you shouldn't lend your trimmer out to anyone. So I've cut this down to 10 3/4 by 10 3/4. And then I'm just going to cut a scant 1/8 of an inch off my white. So just cut a tiny bit off that. There we go. So because this is a used and abused trimmer, I am actually probably going to distress my pieces after I have done my inking. Okay, so then let's get our black and make it a 1-inch frame. So what I'm doing is I'm trimming 1 inch. Let's get rid of this ruler. So I've always got to make sure it's straight up here, so you get a nice perpendicular cut. So I'm coming in 1 inch, and I'm only cutting to within 1 inch of each end. So coming in 1 inch. And you get quicker at this when you know. This is quite a dodgy trimmer, just so you know. Okay. Bit unceremonious with the metal. Right, let's have a look. So we should have a smaller black frame and a tiny bit more red. I like that. That's better. That's better. Right. Okay. So our photograph. Let's frame our photograph with some black. So the photograph is a 5-inch square photograph from Harvey Norman. It is a matte 5-inch square photograph. So I'm going to cut a 5 1/4 inch by 5 1/4 inch piece. Right. There we go. I'm going to cut the middle out of that. Trust me. Waste not, want not. Right. Then we've got our fabulous word. So I'm thinking I'm going to do some stuff here and some stuff here. Okay. So let's move all those bits. Okay. So definitely going to use this one because it says, it's called Handsome, this stencil. It says courageous and kind, brave and strong, and it's got some shapes. That is my 2 cherubs, and then we'll definitely use, we'll stick on there, definitely use a stencil. And it's called Marks the Spot, X Marks the Spot, so we'll use it. Okay, blending brushes. So this is the current range of blending brushes we have. I'll put a link right now to blending brushes. Okay, so $9, $7.50, $6, $5.50, $4, $3.50, $3.50. The most popular ones are these 2. They are a P135 and a P158. Okay, we do have another one that's sold out, but these 2. Now I am using a 145, a 135, and a 158. This really big one is my go-to for backgrounds, like for making big backgrounds. Blending brushes are really great. They don't go fluffy and fall to pieces like sponge daubers. You don't have to have a million of them like these round dauber things. Oh look, here's a smaller one. This is our most popular size, but we don't have any left, so I'm not going to show you that. Blending brushes. So when you need to change the color, or you could have one for each color and then mark them. You can wash them with hand soap or shampoo, then leave them to dry, sort of sitting over something, like say you've got, leave them to dry like this. I sort of do a bit of a you know, a thing like a pile, and you don't want them to dry like this because the glue in here could get too dissolved. Don't be too rough with them, but you can be fairly rough. They take a lot. They take quite a whooping. Don't be afraid to use them with all sorts of inks. Naomi John, our daughter, uses them with alcohol ink. If you're going to use them with paint, you need to wash it out straight away, but you only need a tiny bit. Like, it's a good way to blend something out. You need it, you know, you can have a tiny bit of ink and then you can blend it a really, really long way. You don't have to have lots and lots of liquid or ink to make them work. Okay, so let's start by getting a little bit of our crackling campfire where we want it to be. So I'm going to put a little bit on here, and then on my non-stick craft sheet, it will be in the link as well. This is a bit more orange than what we're all thinking it's going to be, but it's okay. So we're going to start with, if you start off the page, it is much better. Very inky ink pad, it's brand new. And we're going to put a bit here. This is for now. Okay, so then let's layer some stencils. Let's get a bit of X marks the spot. And get a bit of layering going. You can see how soft and blended you can get your stenciling. And when I stencil, I do go a little Russian roulette-ish. I'm not, you know, I don't over plan it. If I over plan it, it doesn't work. Let's have a tiny bit here coming out, so the photo will be sort of there. Let's put a little bit there. Rightio. So then let's get our golden black. And let's put our courageous and kind here. Let's rub it over here. So this ink pad's seen better days, but that's okay. It still works. Look, blending brushes are magic. And technically I should really tape it here and tape it there, but that's okay. Brave and strong here. Star. Bit of a circle. A bit of a swipey thing here. Oh, we've got a mark there, so let's do a star. Just a bit of a swipey thing here. Okay. So let's do a bit of an edge, or a bit of, you know, just a little bit of an edge. I'm going to try not to get in the where the crackling campfire is. Just blendy, and if you make a mark, you can just keep blending. Keep going. You see it's building up on the brush. So then let's get our crackling campfire, and we're just going to use just this little corner here and just put a bit here and a bit there on that. There we go. How's that? That's Quentin's kettle boiling. So we're going to put a little bit of our golden black around the edge. Just, yep, we're layering and layering and layering. So there's a bit of a directing. The oxide doesn't really do a nice direct ink, and you can damage it, like give it a paper cut, and it won't cut really well. It won't ink really well for a stamp. So okay. So then I'm going to do a little bit of a, and I'm just patty swipe, you know, I'm just sort of swiping. What is the end here? Just doing a bit of a swiping, just swiping it on. just a different tone. Oh, I've got a bit there. So let's just blend that out. See, you can just blend out where you've got a mark. Rightio. Oh, I've got a bit of anything. Let's just blend that out. Rightio. Let's have a look at where we're at. So, it's very orange. So let's get our crackling campfire and just do a little bit of here and there, just to bring a little orange, not too much, into our frame. So I want to keep the red there because the red goes well with our photograph, but we're just going to add a touch of the orange here and there so that it makes more sense. Doesn't look like we ignored the frame or ignored the photograph. So the frame now has a bit of our crackling campfire and a bit of our photo colour, which is the original red. Oh, quite the kettle has clicked. Okay, so I'm just putting a little bit of the golden black around. I'm being quite boisterous with it, getting quite a nice sort of edge coming in. Rightio, how are we? How's that? Liking that? Okay. So let's put a little tiny bit of golden black around our photo mat. And it just gives it a little bit of a gold glow. And then let's do the same with our page mat. And then we'll get our fabulous word. And I'm just going to graze the top of it here and there with a bit of the golden black. More than grazing actually. I'm just giving it a bit of a rub here and there just to get a bit of golden black on it. That's our fabulous word. Just made a bit of a mark, so I'm just going to blend it with my blending brush. Rightio. So let's have another audition. Before we clean this mat up, let's audition where we are looking with our bits. There we go. Oh, where's our photo mat? That's pretty good. Okay, so I've got this little bit of gauze. I'll put the gauze in the linky thing as well. A couple of bits of gauze. We sell 10 pieces of gauze. It's nice cotton gauze for $2. So let's get a little bit of our background muckiness on our gauze. So move our blending brushes away. Just add a little bit of water. And let's just here and a bit of light, so we want it sort of a bit different here and there. Okay, so I'm just going to hang that up here to dry. Look at that, awesome. Hang it up to dry, and I'm going to get a baby wipe and clean up my area. So clean my hands first. So I'm not going to chuck this baby wipe out. I have got plans on start of COVID. I decided that I would keep all the baby wipes from my live classes and I would do something with them. Haven't worked out what the something is yet, but I'm going to use them, trust me. Okay, I've got very orange fingers. Okay, so now let's open. Oh look, there's a bit more gauze. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dry my surface off with that other bit of gauze. Rightio. So let's open the Steampunk Feathers colour cuts. So we have these in lots of different colours. I think this is colour number 26, which is black and white. So there's lots and lots and lots of bits. So lots and lots of pieces. So let's get the flowers and just give them a little bit of a crackling campfire-ness to them. So there's another one. So it's 4 flowers. And then let's get our, so let's use a clock. Let's put a bit of gold and black on it. And then let's use a couple of feathers. To just do a bit of a thing of feathers like that. We'll have a clock. Let's get a couple of cogs. Let's say 5 cogs. 1, 2, the low rumble is the air conditioner. 3, 4, let's do this little guy. So we make these ourselves. We have a commercial die printer, and then we make our own. Yes, and then we cut them, not by hand. We have a trio of machines that cut them, and then, yeah, we make lots and lots of colour cuts. Because not everyone wants to fussy cut. I like fussy cutting, but my hands don't like fussy cutting. Rightio. So let's put a bit of clock there. Let's cut a bit off all of these cogs. So all these cogs are either, I'll leave the little one in whole, we're either going to get it cut in half or thirds or something. There. What do we think? And then our little flowers. Let's cut the stems off the flowers. Flower. 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 Kind of thing like that. And then we'll put a bit of gauze with each. What do we think? Looks pretty good. I think it does. So let's slide this across to the side. And then get our edge distresser. It will be in the link thing too. And let's build our photo unit. Okay. So I'm just going to distress the edges. I'm actually going to distress my photo, just so you know. Just fair warning, I am distressing the photograph. A bit full on doing this, but it's okay. It's not going to affect the archival nature of the photograph, because everything I'm using is archival, and I will put it in an archival pocket. You know, I'm using photo safe products. And it's about scrapbooking the memory. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some 6mm tape. I only use Express-It tape. It doesn't let go, it doesn't go yellow, it doesn't go yucky. I've seen some disastrous albums with cheap tape in them. And I use plenty of tape so that things don't fall out. Okay, so let's stick that in there. And I'm going to put some foam behind my photo. It's Express-It foam as well. Right, so over here is where I've got a little coggy thing going. So I'm going to put a little bit of foam along there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it from the front. Like that. So just going to put a little bit of tape here. I'll put glue behind these. When I go to stick this on, I'll put glue behind these embellishments. Right, so that's one. So then over here, down here, I'm going to have to put some foam on the edge here. And some foam just down the bottom here. Because what I'm going to do, so you should have your layout with you. So when you build out like this from your photo, you really do need to have your layout there so you can make sure that you don't build out beyond where your photo boundary is. Voice of experience there, I have built a layout, built out from a photo before and built it so far out that it was bigger than my 12x12 page in one direction. So notice how they're sort of touching. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape here. And then have that sort of come out like that. Then what I'll do is I'm going to build my feather embellishment. So this single cog I'm going to put on foam, and then my feathers will sort of go like this, and it'll be sort of off to the side there. But what I'm going to do is get some tape. I will use glue on this later. Let's put a little tiny bit of tape here just to patch this bit. Right, so that'll go there, like that. And this will sort of attach sort of like that, with the fabulous word there as well. Okay. So now I have those bits. So my top corner is that and these two, right? My bottom corner is these three, and then these bits go with my photograph. Okay, so I'm going to distress these bits. I'm not inking after I distress because I want to get that final little, you know, touches of, so I'm getting a little touch of white, the base color in here, out to the edge. It's just creating yet another depth to the shape. You could use scissors if you don't have an edge distresser. There is so much you can do with blending brushes. If you look up on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, you look up our creative family group, which is Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family. We have lots of classes in there that use blending brushes. Yeah. Blending brushes are really awesome. Just say. So we use them quite a bit in classes, and there's lots of examples where customers have used them as well in our group. So I teach free classes every week. I teach 2 scrapbooking and 1 card making class every week at a minimum. My daughter teaches a mixed media art gelling class every week. I'm not going to distress the main page, just so it's nice and it's a nice edge to go in my album. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some 6mm tape around the outside edge of this big white piece, and then I'm going to show you how I stick it on so that I have a bit of leeway and less likelihood of having it disastrously crooked. So I turn back a little bit on each end and of the tape backing and crease it. So turn back a little and crease. So I do that on all 4 corners, so that then when I go to stick it down, I only have a little tiny bit that's sticking and the rest is sort of there so that I can just move it around. I'm going to stand up to do this. I find that standing up and looking down helps. Right, so I'll get a little louder as I stand up. So I get the border I want, and I make sure that I've got it the same or how I want it to be the whole way around. Okay, I like that. Yep, that's good. So then we peel. Rightio. Then let's do the same on the next piece. So turn and crease. You could do this on your photo mat and all, like, you can do it on any size piece. Rightio. So now I'm looking to get sort of an even, kind of eyeballing an even border all the way around. Apologies if it's not even, looks even enough. Gauze. So I'm going to cut my gauze in each piece in half. So I'm ending up with like 4 bits that are about 2 inches by 4 inches. And I'm just going to give them a bit of a trash. I have a bit here. I don't want it to really cover my Courageous in Kind. Courageous in Kind is very important. These two are very courageous and kind, and they're a lot braver than what they realise. Same with my bold and brave and strong. And then we'll have a little bit over to the side here. And a little bit down here. Maybe what I might do is I might make, oh, let's trim that down a bit. Let's put this tiny bit up here. And this bit down here. Let's cut a little off here and make this one smaller, and then add a bit more here. Rightio. So let's just grab that where we want it to be. There. Let's put this piece sort of there like that, and then we'll grab this little bit and attach it there. Rightio, how's that? Oh, look at that. I like that. And up a bit higher, I think. Rightio. So, down in this corner here, we have, oops. Going to tear a bit off. So we have a flower. So let's get some glue. So this is Dimensional Magic in an applicator bottle. And you know, I'm down to the absolute dregs. Let's put that there. Put that one there. Stick on our clock. Okay, I know it's hanging back off the edge. We're going to trim that off after. Oh, wrong side. We'll pop the glue because Dimensional Magic dries glossy. Rightio. So up in this corner, got a bit of gauze. And then we're going to put our bit of flour. And we've got some cog. Really at the ends of the glue. And then a bit more cog here. Might stick a little bit of foam under that flower there. Let's just, okay, so back again. Quentin was just asking if the foam's okay. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna put some drops of glue around on these bits. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to just out on this flower here, put a little bit of foam. So let's turn the page again. Flip her over. We want to make sure that we don't, I'm coming about 3/4 of an inch down from the top. We don't want to cover our brave and strong Make sure I don't have any smush on my photo. I'll get a little bit of, no. On foam. And then let's get our fabulous word. Right. So our fabulous word, on the thicker parts, we're just going to put a little bit of glue. And this is where the fine needle applicator comes into its own. But I do have a little trick, because we always end up with a little more glue than what we want. I love how I can use right down to the very dregs of my Dimensional Magic with this. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn this over up here. I'm going to give it a little pat just to get rid of the excess glue. And then come back here. And I know the outside of my mat is very messy, but I teach lots and lots of classes. And I love that it's very organic and crafty and arty, and I can see all the colours I have created with in the last month or so. Rightio, so how about we put this on an angle? A little jaunty, like that. Oh, I love that. So we sell these words for $1.95. We have this one in black and in white. I will continue to make sure over the next however long that I restock it. We do check daily what needs to be restocked in our own products we make. This is one of our products. Okay, so where's our feather embellishment-y thing? So I'm going to lift my F and my fabulous and stick that there like that. But underneath the bottom of the two long feathers, I'm just going to cut some skinny bits of foam. Just going to put a skinny bit under each of these just to give it a bit more. I just want a little bit of dimension, shadow up and down this. You know, that's not technical at all. No. So let's put that there. Let's tap off the excess. So my journaling pens are hidden in a drawer at home. When you meet Amelia Ann, like if you come to our creative family group of classes, or a Friday night or Saturday night or Sunday night live at the Scrapbook Fantasies Facebook page, you will meet Amelia Ann. She is cute, she's cheeky, and she loves my journaling pens. So my journaling pens are actually hidden in a sneaky spot. She thinks she knows where they are, but she doesn't. I hope she doesn't, because she does get into them. Although every time my adult children come home to visit, my journaling pens go a bit MIA and then get found somewhere like the spare bedroom. So just snipping those bits off, and then let's get our gold and black and put a bit on the edge here. I'm just going to apply a little bit more of my Dimensional Magic under here. Loving how that looks. Loving, loving, loving how that looks. Look at that. It's pretty cute. So I am going to, just on these little edges here, just add the tiniest brush. And you can do this with your blending brushes, as I'm just grazing the edge with a tiny bit of the crackling campfire. And look at that, that's framed lovely. Look at that. And we've got a little bit of lightness coming through here, which draws you back into these beautiful creatures in the middle with their devil horns and their, you know, I don't know where his glasses are, but she's got hers on. She's actually blind without her glasses. So I've got a little smush here of the crackling campfire, and I'm just going to use the blending brush to blend out that little smush. Look at that. So then we might do a little blend here and there. Look at that. I've got some little unblended bits there. Look at that, beautiful. So there we go. That is our steampunk blending brush layout. It's not too over the top, but it's lovely. The photo's the focus. So I will put the date here, and I'll also write who it is. Our children all look very similar, so I will also write, you know, that it's Noah and Naomi John, and the date was earlier this year. I think it was in March or April, and then we'll go from there. Thank you very, very much for coming along to my steampunk blending brush class using my brand new Redwood Farm paper number 1, Tim Holtz Crackling Campfire Oxide, our beautiful blending brushes, and my ever popular Steampunk and Feathers Color Cuts set number 26. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a fabulous day. And don't forget to look up Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family on Facebook, and check out our online store at www.scrapbookfantasies.com.au. Stay safe, we love you. Bye.